Ooh, I'm just kidding. So I just wanted to do like this random live because I am laying in bed. Probably can tell. I'm resting right now. I'm completely chilling. Let me use my favorite filter. Will it let me do that while I'm on here? I think it will. Let me see. Yeah, it will. Let's see. Y'all know my little. I like this one, and I like this one, but you can barely see it. It's like a aura type vibe, but you can't really see it because the screen. My phone is laying on a pillow, so hey, I'm gonna use my bubbles because I feel like spirit wants to like burst some of our delusional bubbles around these parts. But yeah, so I haven't really been in the space to do any general reads like I want to. Like I had a few bookings this week and I had to like pump my energy because I'm telling you, like, it was so hard to get up. It was so hard this week to get up because some people may not believe it or want to believe it, but the stars, like, really, like, if you believe that you're a star being and you're connected to the celestial and all that stuff, why would you think that the planets would not be a manifestation of you and like affect your energy? Like, that of the planet, period. Like, get real. But anywho, because astrology is real, and I know some people just like I know like we could blame everything on astrology, which is like toxic, but like, oh, that's because I'm a so and so sign and a moon this and but nah, like to be honest, really, no, the stars really do just the planets within itself be fucking with us. Um, what was I gonna say? Like, goodness. So I don't know about y'all, but these past few days have been kind of draining. Hey, Ro. So I had to kind of pace myself, like I said, extending my energy out and doing readings and not really having the space to do general readings. Like, mind you, okay, I'll put it like this. It's been a lot of downloads. So I don't know about y'all. If y'all tapped in, you guys are probably getting a lot of downloads for yourself about, your own life, your own situations, your healing, um, downloads for other people, downloads for the collective, the planet. Thank you. Thank you, Ro. Um, if you've been getting them type of downloads, because I'll tell you this, like that night of the solar eclipse, I did a bath. I set my intentions. Actually, I had set out some water the night before the solar eclipse because I wanted to charge that water up and use it for my spiritual bath. So I used that and some other things I was guided to use and set the intentions in my water because water is living. It's living, so it's powerful. Set some energy, set some intentions in your water. Speak to your water before you get in it or as you're getting in it. But I had like this crazy experience, like this my goodness. If y'all ever heard me go into my tongues, like my some people call it the holy tongue, some people call it speaking in tongues, some people call it light language. When I went into that, it opened this like I don't know how to explain it, but it was a crazy vision that I had and from what I can remember and recall, personally, like some things I'm not going to share because that's between me and my divine team, my ancestors. But collectively, there was a message, and I'm going to share that, one of these days. Hopefully, not too far out. But I've just been getting crazy downloads, y'all. Like a lot collectively. My dreams have been hella crazy. I had a I had a dream. I think that Saturday the Saturday before the eclipse. So like, yeah, last Saturday, a week ago from today, I had a dream, and this dream was fucking crazy because at that time, I don't know if y'all were paying attention, but it was a lot of fear mongering going on in relation to that solar eclipse. And it was funny because it was coming from religious folk, people that are so called Christians, but all of a sudden they just like tapped into the astrologist bag and was like, they was astrology, and okay, they was astrologists at that time. They was like decoding shit like, oh y'all, look at y'all occultists over here with y'all Bibles talking about, oh, this means this and that means that. And I'm like, look at y'all, like the Christians talking about astrology is evil, but y'all in y'all astrology bag, I see. Okay. I see y'all. And then on top of that, y'all doing the shit that y'all claim the Bible says not to do, is look to the stars and prediction, but y'all trying to predict when Christ is allegedly supposed to be coming back. That's interesting. But anyway, like, "Oh, okay, look at you, Christians talking about some astrology and getting all geeked up and don't follow the stars, but following the stars. It's just crazy. Anywho, so that was going on. Um, they were trying to predict Christ's return, and it clearly says in the Bible, for them that so-called read the Bible and follow the commandments of the Bible. Y'all, y'all sitting here talking about Christ is coming back and this is the sign and da 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 da. And the Bible clearly says that we will not know the day nor the hour, right? If that's, Christ's return is a literal thing, right? Either way it goes, we will not know the day nor the hour, nor the angels in heaven will know the day nor the hour. And that's in Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 36, and probably like so on after that. But that's in Matthew 24. Like, so I just thought that was interesting. I thought that was very interesting. um, but I wanted to say all this because I feel like I'd be jumping off topic. The fear mongering around that, like I had this crazy ass dream, and I feel like it could have been a metaphor for something not completely literal. Um, So Saturday, I had this crazy dream where I was out. I think I was like at a shopping center or something. I was outside. I know that, outdoors. And it was like a public place because there was a lot of people around. And all of a sudden, the sky was filled with UFOs. Like, I cannot describe it. It wasn't like 5 UFOs, like 10 UFOs. Like, I can't even describe. I want to say like the sky was almost full of them. Like literally, like they was coming, and if you were imagine seeing that in real life, like you probably be freaked the fuck out. So in the dream I was like, oh my god, I gotta get home to my baby. I gotta get home to my baby, and I was trying to call her, my daughter. That's all I could think about, and it was like this panic. It was really weird, and I feel like I was picking up on the collective energy. Now what was funny to me was that I learned that CERN, um that they were planning on doing some type, like I think they were opening up their collider again. I think they haven't used it in years, and allegedly they were supposed to be using whatever their little device, whatever that shit is that they was going to use around that time, if not on the solar eclipse. I thought that was weird, and from my understanding, that shit opens up portals, bringing all kind of shit from else here and there and everywhere. Child, that I don't know if that dream had anything to do with that and like bringing different energies on the planet, but I mean, not to say that's just what my interpretation was. um I don't know, I just have this feeling, and so just what I'm picking up, just spiritually, prophetically, I feel like there will be like a lot of strange energy going on in the planet, and I feel this eclipse really was supposed to, and I'll talk about the aftermath in a second. It's all gonna make sense. Like y'all just gotta roll with your girls sometimes. I'd be like all over the place. But I feel like because the energy is so strongly in Aries and just the energy of Mars within itself is like the planet of war. Um, and I always hold this in mind that whatever is happening in the physical realm is something that is just a physical manifestation or representation of what's going on in the self, within the spirit, within the soul, within the mind, within the heart. And because Aries deals with the self, right? I'm feeling like I'm at war with myself in different ways and I'm fighting myself to um with my like finding, my path, my purpose, like realigning it. But this has been an ongoing thing for like the past 4 years, like that awakening, I think from the whole 2020, the pandemic really did that for me, like opened the gates to that. But I feel like it was meant for us to really self-reflect, be honest with ourselves, have some harsh truths. And some people I feel like just didn't want to do the work. It became too much. Um, that's a heavy energy to battle with yourself. And I know this to be fact. Um, Discern is like an episode. Oh, I gotta look that up, Una. Hey, by the way, hey sis. I gotta look that up. But just like having to face yourself is not easy, and just what I was dealing with personally, and then a couple of my good sis, they was dealing with their own, shit identity wise, and their physical, representation. Um I just get this feeling that those that really did their work, you are going to see a shift in your reality because you showed up and showed out for yourself. For those that didn't, it's going to feel torturous to you. Some people may I don't want to say it like this, but I have to be real in what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing. Some people may not want to be here anymore. It may literally make that decision to not be here anymore. Um to the point where it's going to drive themselves crazy, because when you don't deal with your own demons, what happens is you're tormented by your own demons. That's what people don't understand. Like maybe some of you do, some of you don't. I know me personally, when I don't deal with my shit, I'm tormented by it. Like until I have to face it. Like you might try to sleep it away, smoke it away, drink it away, do whatever you want to do to distract yourself or focus on somebody or something else, or point the blame. Oh, it's everybody's fault and this and that. This shit's gonna always turn back to self. It will always do that. Like there's no escaping that. And so if you did not deal with yourself, that energy is going to hit you 10 times fold after the eclipse. The eclipse kind of like brought it up to the surface in a way that was like kind of like, oh my God, like why is this happening? Why am I thinking like this? Where is this coming from? And to the point where you just like, I'm gonna fuck it. Like I have to deal with this. I'm going to, however that looks like for you. One of the biggest things, like I'll share this with y'all. For me, coming on camera is like sometimes it's easy because I'm like I'm out of my head and out of my mind at that moment. I know I'm coming on to deliver a message or something, so I get out of my own way. But if it's something that is like pre-planned, like where I have to like really show up outside of like just reading and tarot, because sometimes I gotta be careful because tarot or just being a reader can be a crutch for me, like a security blanket or an identity blanket for me. And I have to be real and honest about that. So when I uncloak that and I remove it and it's just me and a camera, or me and the messages that I'm supposed to deliver without the cards, it's uncomfortable. So one of the things I had to deal with was that fear of that, and just push myself to press record, um look at the playback the video, put it together, put the music on it, edit it, put the words and all that, the commentary on it. And then I'm sitting here judging myself. Oh, I don't why did I say it like that, or why did I move my mouth like that, and why did I do this? Child, just beating myself, just critiquing myself. But the healing came from just being like, fuck it, post it, schedule it, bitch, and post it. Like, get out your own way. Like, stop playing. So that's like one of the healing things. But the aftermath of this eclipse for those that have like focused and did their work, like literally did what they needed to do, eclipse whatever they needed to eclipse, starting within self and then everything without, whatever it is or whoever it is that you know you need to like cut ties with, whatever the case may be. Greetings. Whatever the case may be that you needed to eclipse out of your life, within you and out of it, it may still be going on. The aftermath still may be aftermathing. Okay, maybe it's still happening. Um, so I just get like this vibe that those that didn't, like I said, it's going to be a little, it's not going to be easy for a lot of people. And one thing is this, and I'm jumping all around, but Mama Divine is not happy. Divine Mama is not happy with what's going on right now in the planet, especially when it comes to women and children, or men that do stand for something. And it's a lot of clearing out that's happening as well. A lot of clearing out, a lot of people, and I feel like this goes for women as well. This is not just men, but men that are disrespecting the women collective, offending. And when I say offending, not like, oh, I have an opinion, I'm saying something that maybe one woman or a few women may not like, but blatantly attacking the women and children. There's a lot of dethroning, and like what you're seeing, like as far as like celebrities and their scandals and stuff, that ain't shit compared to the bigger picture. That's just like little lightweight in the grand scheme of things. Like, it is a big thing, but that's just like that's just one level of it. There's a greater level of it. Greater level. Um and with women as well, women that are working against themselves. I was about to say sinning against themselves, but I don't want to say sinning as in like a religious type of keyword or definition, but like working against the self and the women collective by disrespecting themselves, by disrespecting other women in collective, being an enemy to their female collective and allies and children. They gonna get it too. They gonna get it too. Okay. Divine Mother is all about nurturing and protecting and persevering the planet. And the thing is, like with some of these people, it's like they're they're caught up and addicted to their vices and their flesh and their darker nature. Is kind of like you might come into those moments where you're tempted to operate in your lower nature. That's human, right? But when you come to a place where you're consumed by it and you just lack conscious, or you just discard your consciousness that says that's not right, or because like you can't just consider your life and say, oh, this is my life, I can fuck it up if I want to. No, you have people that are connected to you, like children, your family, your friends, or you may not be thinking that one day you might have a child, but your actions will affect you later. Your actions are going to affect you later in life and will affect your children later, right? So we have to have some level of consciousness. And I feel like some people just kind of like feel they're bigger than God or something. When I say God, I mean like the source, creator of all things, that we're greater than that, and we can just fuck up the planet and fuck up our environment and the people in it, energetically speaking as well, not just physically. But all of that has a consequence. People that side with evil and side with destruction and hate, you you're fighting yourself at the end of the day, and you're fighting something bigger than yourself, which is God. So if we can't come together, people can't get it together. It's like you're going to be your own demise type shit. Literally. I remember, I think it was like 2021 or maybe 2022, but it seems like it was further back than that, where I had gotten a message. I prophesied this. I said that there was going to be a dethroning of people in high positions in high places. And it's going to continue to happen, and it's going to get higher and higher. Like, what you're seeing is not as high as you think. It's higher than that. Um, because those people, it's like destruction in every which of the word. Like these people have to go, whatever that means. Like, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. It's like we can't have this type of energy fucking up the planet. We just cannot. And some people have a choice. Like, when it comes down to being a messenger, I can easily side with doing the mainstream and doing what's popular and saying what's popular and mainstream and what tickles people's ears, tickles people's toes, and tickle their bellies and make them feel good. Um, I can choose that type of shit, or I can be honest and just deliver whatever I'm delivering and getting, whether that's through a personal message or whether that's through a collective message. Because the thing is, too, is like a lot of people sold out too. A lot of people have sold out and chose a path because whether the money was good, or if I keep doing this, like they might be called to switch something up or do something different. Spirit's like, okay, enough of that. We want you to do something different. We're leveling you up in your path, your purpose, your calling, your messages, whatever, right? And I'm not just talking about spiritual workers, like people that on the surface, like surface level, like what you, I would say not surface level, but what you perceive or what the collective of people would perceive as spiritual. This could be like corporate jobs as well, like your purpose and your calling, whatever that may be. If you decide to choose like, oh, I'm going to continue to do this, even though I know that I need to leave this alone, and you're deciding to do it because that's just what you want to do, or because you want money, or because like the risk is too great, you might lose money, you might lose subscribers, you might lose supporters, you might lose sponsorships, whatever it may be. Like, you sided with that, you sold out. So yeah. Same thing with relationships. If anybody is sitting in a situationship or a relationship or so-called relationship that they know they were called out of before the eclipse was over, and you still in it, and you like, as Whoopi Goldberg said in that movie, what was it? I can't remember. Ghost. He's like, you in danger, girl. Yeah, because Spirit told you what it was, told you what it is, and told you what it was, and you stayed, and you were not supposed to. So that's probably like another decade on you of a cycle. And I'm gonna talk about divine partnerships too. In another video, like the download I got with that was very interesting. Very profound. I don't know if it's gonna resonate with everybody. Of course, it's not going to. I don't expect it to, at least, but yeah, I do get like a strong vibe. Like, divine mother energy is really racking it up on what's the right word? I know this is gonna trigger some people. I don't care. It is what it is. Like, I'm not a fluffy person when it comes to like spiritual things. Like, I'm very realistic too about how spirit works. I'm not under the guise that everything is love and light and you just get to fuck off in this planet and just do nothing. Um if people think that they're just going to have life handed to them, or that they're going to find joy and happiness in external things, this new energy that we're in is going to show you that that is not true. That is far from the truth. That is far from it. You are not going to have life handed to you on a bubble gum platter. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to face yourself no matter where you go. You can try to get another job. You can try to move to a different location. You can try to hop into another relationship. You can change your hair. You can work out in the gym, change your body, get your body all cut up and do this, do that. Have a million followers, subscribers, have everybody say that they love you. If you don't love yourself and you don't like yourself, you don't feel at peace with yourself, you're not going to have peace no matter where you are, no matter what you have. And that's what the solar eclipse tried to teach us. And it's teaching us, because some people still have not gotten that concept. It was in freaking Aries, in an Aries season. Like, come on. Like, it was going to expose self. Expose your heart to yourself. Like, it was going to expose that for you. And it still is. You know what I mean? Like, this time that we're in is beautiful, because there's opportunity to tap into a new vibration, a new energy, a new frequency, a new mindset. But if you're still in that shitty place with yourself, you're not going to be able to grasp that. You're not going to be able to see that. That's what the Christians did not understand when they were sitting here fear mongering and, oh, you got to get right with God because God's coming back. No, you're misinterpreting everything and the energy. You're reading it too literal. So, like, what that energy was doing, it was highlighting and putting to the forefront things not just within the self, but the collective itself. Because we affect the collective through our actions and through our beliefs and how we treat each other, right? Mars, I don't get that Mars is meant to be looked at as like this destructive god that's like as a tyrant, because we already have that on the planet. We have tyrants on this planet that do not care about humanity, do not care about the people. They care about power and money and status and materials, whether that's gas, whether that's what's in the human body that they sell in. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that they worship and hold at value, that's the destruction of like what is trying to be destroyed. What this Aries energy was all about. Kind of like humbling the unhumble people. I just feel like it's a warning, and like CERN trying to play God is funny to me. Um it's just funny that people try to play God. Try to play the creator and try to recreate creation, and it's just going to backfire at some point. It's going to backfire. But yeah, all this Aries lunar eclipse and Aries season within itself, I feel like strongly is just, it was about awareness of self. It was all about that. That's what it was. That's what it was. The war within your own self. The war with self. And are you going to fight for you? Are you going to battle for you? Are you going to seek out your own truth in your own heart? Like, or are you going to stay playing small or doing the same things or making excuses for yourself or staying in situations and doing the same things that you know that you shouldn't, that you're elevating past? So like, you might feel the aftermath of it in this way of your body is clearing out. Like, I know for me, like the symptoms that I have, I was like trying to blame it all on like, oh, I have allergies and stuff like that. But no, like I'm sleeping like today, like I slept, like I can't even believe how long I slept. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? Like it was just insane, but I needed it. And the type of dreams that I've been having and the downloads I've been getting, it's heavily intense. Like my body is going through an upgrade is the best way that I can describe it. So if you are experiencing some like symptoms of like runny nose and maybe like stomach clearing out and stuff like that, whatever you did on the eclipse, whatever intentions you set, whatever work you were doing on yourself, it's working. Like it's like it's working. It's clearing out. I just seen a post today that confirmed it, because I had two friends tell me, like, because I was telling them like, yeah, I feel like I got it, like I have allergies really bad, and like my, you know, like these symptoms I'm going through, and just telling them my experience, like, no, it's ascension symptoms, most likely that's what it is. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because the shit that I cleared out on the eclipse, child, that was a lot. Like That was a lot. So there's still clearing going on. And like if you set intentions for things to like leave your life that need to leave, don't be surprised if like things just happen to like leave your life. And if you're not aware, like, oh, okay, I set the intention that whatever wasn't for me needed to go, you might look at it like, oh, why did this happen? And why did that happen? That's why. That is why. That is why, child. Um, yeah, and I also set intentions here on my channel. Like, I don't want my channel to just be about entertainment and, like this bubblegum mainstream, what's popular on YouTube type of readings. Some of my readings are not going to be like, that mainstream friendly, and it might be foreign to some people's ears. It might even irritate some people's ears, but I set the intention like whoever needs to hear it, and whoever's not supposed to be here, just unsubscribe. Like I don't need subscriptions from people that are not, you know, 'cause the intention, I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be real about it. Like people that are not ready to do their work with themselves are not or aren't currently in process of working on self in their life or creating change for themselves and the world around them, and want healthy connections and relationships with others as well. Like wants better relationships within them, like within self or within source God. Like I don't want people that's just here just to be hearing a message, not do nothing with it, or just here for the entertainment and the fluff and tell me about my future and tell me about this guy and this person and who's doing this to me. Like it's okay to get clarity and guidance on certain things, but if you're not here to get a solution, you're not here to find a solution, a resolution, or figure out how to evolve, then I ain't got nothing for you. I'm just, y'all can watch another tarot reader that will be just there to tickle your ears and entertain you, but that's not what this is. And it's not to say like we won't have, you know, grounded energy where we can actually talk and as like human beings and like have a good time and like flow. Cause y'all know I'm goofy, I like to joke and kiki at times, but I'm just not here to coddle anybody. And if that's what you're here for, to be coddled and hear a message like what's going to happen in your future and what's coming to you, and not make any change for yourself, and you're waiting for life to happen to you, you're just sitting there doing nothing, because faith without works is dead, as they say. And that is true. So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'm still the love messenger. Like I will deliver messages when it comes to love and tell you what I see. But I'm also going to be honest and straightforward as always. Like, I'm not here to coddle anybody. If you come here on this channel, I'm gonna tell you what I see. I'm gonna tell you what I'm getting, what spirit is saying, be honest and what it is that maybe you need to work on. And that's not something that people like to hear, because like, just as a consumer of readings as well myself, like whether I'm getting a reading, which I only get readings from people I trust. I'm not really into getting readings from people on social media and on YouTube and stuff, like unless I really feel led. Like in the past, there have been people that I've discovered that I trusted enough to do that. But like if I'm just like guided to watch a general reading or something, I had to be real and honest that I don't see a lot of people tapping into what someone needs to work on within themselves. Like when you do a reading for someone, you're always going to pick up something that we can work on or do better or prep ourselves for things, rather than just being like, yeah, this person loves you and they miss you and they're coming back and they hate the karmic and that shit. And then it's like, okay, but what about you though? It's just like, oh, you're such a special star seed and they fucked up and it's all about you and you're special and you're just amazing. And not saying that you're not all of those great things, but to be real and to be honest, it's like, why do you care about where this person is at with you if they're dealing with somebody that's not for them or they're disrespecting you? It's like you got to check yourself and be like, why am I making myself available for this? Or like, what's the break? What's the breaking of the cycle here? What do I need to do within myself? Where do I self-evaluate? None of that's coming out. Like, rarely, I should say rarely, not for the majority. It's all entertainment. Just to sit down and hear a prediction, or you know what I mean? Like, we got to get past that. So where I'm at right with my channel, like, and I feel like it's always been that way, but just like where I'm at, I don't care to have people on my channel just viewing it for entertainment. Like, I just don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the energy for that. My messages are going to offend people. I know that already, and it's not intentional. It's just, it will trigger people. I know that for a fact. I'm not a traditional reader by any sense. Traditional in a sense of like, oh, it's like what people think readings are, just to predict the future and tell them this and tell them what they want to hear. And I'm not that person. I can't force myself to be that. I can't do it. I read how God it inspires me to and guides me to read. And I'm open. I let spirit tell me what I need to say, what someone's spiritual team wants them to know. So your spiritual team is not going to side with your bullshit. They're just not. Some people might believe that they just going to be rooting for you, and even when you're bullshit, no, your divine team that has your back and really cares about you, they're not your yes men, and they're not your yes woman. They're not. They are not going to tell you what you want to hear either all the time. That's not going to happen. Change is not going to come by being the same person and doing the same things. There's a point where you have to outgrow a certain part of yourself. Some people think that a relationship and love is going to come easy by just, this light and fluffy. Oh, it's going to come and it's going to be magical. But if you're not like clear within yourself, like you're not good, you're not Gucci with you where you need to be, at least. Not saying that you have to be this perfect human being, because we're never going to be perfect, and we're not going to be completely just whole and healed when we get into a relationship. Like, that's not realistic either. But to say to be toxic and to continue to bring certain patterns and problems and addictions and things like that into a relationship is unfair to the other person. So you think that a person is going to have this responsibility of making you whole and happy all the time. You're sadly mistaken, and you're selfish as fuck if you think that's how it's going to work. A man or woman or money or whatever you think outside of yourself is going to make you happy is not going to make you happy. I dare you to try it. Every person that I know that is in a relationship will tell you, if they're not solid within themselves in certain levels, it's not just going to disappear just because they got a man. It didn't disappear because they had a man. They still had shit they needed to work on. So don't expect or look for your person to be that for you, because that's selfish. That's not fair to that person. It's not. You cannot skip your self-work in this lifetime. You cannot. If you want to evolve and you say that you're this spiritual being and you're enlightened and all these little fancy titles, you're chosen, and all this little corny shit that TikTok created, these little titles, and I mean, not saying that they created the chosen and all that, but like the made it mainstream and bubblegum to the collective, and it tickles the ego. Those titles and labels come with self-work and self-reflection and evolution. It doesn't just come to you because, oh, you're special. No, when you're a chosen one, as y'all like to call it, or as a collective of people like to call it, I'm not coming to anyone specific, but just saying collectively, that comes with work. Anybody knows, like, when you're called and really chosen to a spiritual path, you will go through those periods where you don't feel like you belong. You feel separate. Maybe you've always felt that in your life, where other people get to get away with just fucking off in life and just doing whatever what they want with their life, and no consequence, or not thinking about the consequences. You don't have that. And it's not necessarily like it's a luxury to be able to just be a dumb nut in this reality. It's not a luxury. It's not a flex. So it might feel like that because majority of the world does side with just being like just dumb nuts. and just doing whatever the next person is doing, or trying to fit in, or don't care about their health or care about their mental health, or just doing whatever and sleeping around and doing this, doing that without conscious, you don't have the luxury to do that. Like, your consciousness is like, I can't do that. I can't find it in myself to do that. And when I do it, I feel like shit after. Because you're called to a higher standard. Like, you represent something. You're called to whatever spirit has called you to. There's a responsibility there. So, like, for people to just think chosen means like people are jealous of you, and you just, luck just happens to you, and you're special above all other mortals. You're just this one mortal that's just special beyond measure. That's egotistical. That's not real. That's not what chosen means. You guys are like being lied to. This spiritual gentrification. Like, we're gonna come in and we're gonna gentrify everything, and we're gonna whitewash it and make it all light and fluffy. That's not what it is. Like, just stop. You cannot bypass the soul work. You cannot do that. It's not gonna happen. For those of you talking about divine connections, and this is my twin flame, your soulmate, baby, that ain't your soulmate. That's a karmic, most likely. Is whatever y'all want to call it. That's not your person. You cannot skip your soul work. Even with so-called karmics, you can't skip your soul work. Some people will make that decision not to work on themselves in this life and just kind of stay in autopilot and do the same thing and just live life in a just like a mush brain state of mind, and just go with the status quo. We just gonna go here where this person's going. We gonna do this. But that's not everybody's call. People that have like made that decision that they want to like walk the path that they're meant to, with knowing that it's not always going to be fun, it's not always going to be easy, and they have to be conscious and aware of not only themselves but of other people around them. It's not an easy thing. No, it's not, but it's worth it. If you skip your soul work and you try to hop into things that are not ordained for you, or relationships or connections, even the things that are meant for you, and you try to jump skip your soul work, your self work, your self reflecting, your basically self love, like that, to focus on you and your healing, and be honest with yourself even when it's hard, to admit when you're wrong about things, or to admit when you're your own enemy, or things that you don't like about yourself, and you go and you sit with that and you heal that. It's not an easy thing, but that is what we call self-love. Self-love is not only just subject to mirror magic and putting on some makeup and doing your hair, or going to the gym and working out, getting buff for the ladies, and getting you a car. Like, that's part of it, but that's not the meat and the potatoes of it. It's just an aspect. It's just a layer of it. Because when you focus on that external shit, it's not fully. You're still gonna find something wrong with you. You're still gonna be like, oh, but I don't have this, or oh, well, what about this? It's only until you accept yourself on the inside that you start to appreciate yourself on the outside of yourself, and you're not seeking the validation of what everybody says about you, and are you pretty enough, are you handsome enough. Like, that starts to, you might have those thoughts from time to time, but you don't dwell there, you don't stick to it, you snap yourself out of it. You say, no, I don't care what nobody says. I'm fine, I'm handsome, I'm intelligent, I'm funny, I'm whatever the fuck, I'm creative, I'm dope. I don't care what the world says. I don't have to look like this person and that person. Like, why do I want to look like everybody else? Why do I want to walk and talk and be like everybody else? I was called to be my own unique person. If anything, it's lame that everybody's trying to be like this everybody else. Like, that's fucking lame. You're not going to be able to skip your self-work. You're not going to be able to. And I'm telling you, the harder it gets, the more you like avoid yourself, the more intense your shadow is going to chase after you. And it's not really even chasing after you. It's just, it's a part of you. And you're going to keep looking at the boogeyman. You're going to be like, why is the shadow following me? Like, because it's you. That's you. You're just not facing your boogeyman. which is your own shadow self. Like, you have to face yourself. That's why people take drugs. That's why people get drunk. That's why they externalize their experience. They have to um, overeat. They have to have sex all the time or sleep with a whole bunch of people, spend money. Like, we do things like in excess and overindulgence when we're avoiding something deeper. That's always the case. I promise you. It's always the case. You cannot escape you. You can blame your mama, your daddy, this person and that person. What you're doing is you're trying to blame shift when the focus has to go back on you. And you have to love yourself enough to be honest with yourself. Self-love is really being honest and real with you. It's not really solely about like getting some spa treatments and oh, I went to the spa and I got a massage. Self-love. Like that's part of it. That's the Sex in the City version of self-love. Oh, I went out and bought me some Jimmy Choos and I went to the spa and I went to the fancy restaurant. Like that's not the only aspect. That's like the little that's the cherry on top to like the real root. Like when you actually deal with yourself on a deep level and the capacity that you can handle it at the time. Because like I said, self-love journey and the healing journey is like a layer. It's an onion, a layer of onions. Like you deal with one layer and then there's another layer and there's another or another aspect of that thing that you're healing. And that's the beauty of it because you're learning different parts of yourself. You're mastering different levels of yourself. So like the I'm gonna treat myself to a spa treatment is like kind of like the rewarding to self. Like, baby, you did that. Girl, you did that. Or, you know, man, you did that thing. Like you handled that. You handled it. Let me go buy me some nice, cute shoes because I'm feeling good. Not I'm gonna feel good and buy me some shoes and then I'll forget like the fact that I can't stand my mom or this person cheated on me and I'm still walking around with that grudge on my back or I feel like the world just doesn't see me. So let me buy some more Rolexes and some more this and let me get my hair cut. That's not gonna fix it. And you know that. Deep down inside, you know that shit don't work. Why? Because you do it again and again and again and you still feel like shit. So it's something deeper than that. It is something deeper than that. There's nothing wrong with looking good and having nice things, but that cannot be the root. That cannot be the foundation. It's not going to be foundation. And I also find it funny too that like this whole like fame thing and like stuff being exposed about, the industry that people worship so much. Um you get to see the reality, you get to see the truth of it. I don't know why anybody would want to be famous. To be honest, I don't, other than the fact you just want self-glorification. You want people to glorify you and worship you, and you want money. And why you want those things, again, those are based off of the ego. You can be creative and you can share your art and connect with people without having that stigma of being that or I want to be connected to so and so and I want to be in the spaces with so and so. Like anybody that desires that, I really question your sanity. Like that's not like I just don't get the hype of fame. I don't get it. Um and I feel like the Aries energy too kind of like exposes that thing with self. Like I'm not gonna say like everybody, but I do feel like a good percentage of so-called public figures, they have a lot of identity issues. They do. Um that's just what I feel. Like there's nothing about fame that I can find or say is a positive thing. Nothing about it. And like how we treat celebrities and public figures like they're gods or some shit is like really sickening. Like they're just like you and me. And that's possibly why some of them have some of the biggest egos and they feel like they're untouchable and they can do whatever they want and they can do whatever they want to people. Money is really like money and power really exposes people's true nature. It really fucking does. It really exposes a person's heart. Like when you get something, how you treat people and how you treat the fame and all of that, it really exposes it. And if you are someone that has a low self-esteem or low self-worth, that will reflect in how you treat people. It will. And I was like guided to like share this message like back then too, like where I was picking up there will be people that are gonna be placed in positions like, like entertainment or working with entertainers, maybe behind the scenes, and that you have to know yourself. You have to really, really honor and respect your truth and your morals and your values. You have to know your identity, because in that type of world, you have to have thick and tough skin to say no, maybe turn down some opportunities and offers, or not go into some spaces, or be okay with not being welcomed in some spaces, or where you're going to be tempted to forfeit yourself, your morals, your values, where they're going to suggest that you change something about yourself physically or internally, to where, and then you're not going to recognize yourself if you fold, which is why I said, like, you have to love yourself no matter where you go in this life. I'm telling you, like, self-love is everything. If you do not know who you are on the core of yourself outside of material things and like material titles, and you are going to fail in this life. What I mean by fail is you might have all the money, or you might have the man, you might have the woman, you might have the car, you might have the house, you might be doing this, and that. But deep down in your soul, you are always going to be unhappy. You're going to be happy for a moment, or you might be thrilled, I should say, thrilled that dopamine might be fed for a time. But once reality sets, you still have to deal with that part of yourself that you're not dealing with or that you don't love. You cannot escape that. It is going to find you, because your shadow is you. You have to love yourself. And loving yourself is not just loving the parts of you that you think are cute, pretty, handsome, or are nice and cool, or what other people say are nice and cool. It's beyond that. It's the things that you also don't like about yourself, or you find hard to love. You have to love yourself into loving you, truthfully loving yourself. That man is not going to do it for you. It might help you. They can tell you you're an amazing person, but if you don't believe you're an amazing person, it doesn't mean anything. Can't escape yourself. You cannot. If you don't take nothing from the live, because some of y'all might, this bitch be just be rambling. What the fuck is she talking about? If you don't take anything from this, you cannot escape you. Why would you want to? Why would you want to? You know? Why would you want to? So to have better experiences in this life, because you have to know that essentially you're worthy of the life that you desire. First and foremost, if you don't believe it, you're always going to sit in that space of, oh, it's going to leave me, it's not going to last, or it's not going to stick, or why do I deserve it, or do they really like me, do they really love me? If you're in that, like, you're not good. I'm telling you, like, you can do not bypass this. Do not bypass this. When you love yourself, you essentially, you know how to show up and love people authentically. You're not loving people so that you can seek validation from them, or in hopes that they'll love you back, or aligning with yourself with people that you have to work to prove that you're worthy, or that you're wonderful, or that you're loving, or you're lovable, or you're worthy of love, period. You don't have to do all of that. When you love yourself, you're not even gonna put yourself in that position. It's like, who's for me is for me. What's for me is for me. I'm telling you, love is not that hard. with another person. What I mean by that is, like, not to say that you won't have challenges and things that you have to work through, and your person won't have things that they have to work through, or you guys have to work through things together. You guys are two participants of self growth and self awareness. They will always figure it out together. But when you're dealing with a person, whether it's you and or another person that are not self aware or not self, um, you're not self reliant in the sense of you're a work in progress with yourself. You're actively making changes. You're actively growing as a person where you can see it. You're going to be caught in cycles with somebody. It's going to be a repetitive cycle. You're not going to see any change in that relationship. And if it's not with them and that ends, then it's another person. It's the same shit going to happen again and again and again. Love is not meant to be harsh and like hard like that, to where you're chasing and this person is one minute they're showing up and the next minute they're running from you. I can't wait to share this divine partnership download shit that I got for y'all. I cannot wait. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I'm not gonna promise tonight because I don't think I'm gonna do another live tonight. That's kind of too much. It's an overload. But love is not meant to be this hard thing to where you have to force love to happen. Like, it should never be that. When you face a challenge and the problem with each other, you should be able to work it out. No problem. But if it's one of those relationships where you have to force it or it's not with the right person, the other person will either repel or run from it. And oftentimes when a person is repelling and running from something, they're running from themselves. So, like, why would you want to be with a person that is not self-aware, that does not actively truly doesn't really love themselves? Because like I said, self-love is not about how good you look, the fact that you have a nice car, that you have a home or a place, that you're able to maintain that. Humans, we're very simple. Material, this physical realm is something very easy to maintain. It is. We're survivors by nature. We're gonna figure shit out. Even if we are homeless for a time, we're gonna figure out where to park our car if we homeless. Like, we know how to survive. But the spiritual thing, to cultivate the internal realm, is not always easy for humans, right? So to be able to deal with the inner self and the, like, your soul, that's not something easy for everybody to do. Even for those that take on the self work, we know it's not easy. So why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't even hold space for their own selves? If they can't hold space for you in a partnership with you, that's what I'm going to go back to what I said, because I almost lost track. Why I said that you'll be able to show up in love better with partners or family or friends or business, whatever, partnerships and connections, because you hold yourself with respect and love and honor, and you'll do the same with people on the outside. And that's why they say love is going to change the world, because when you love yourself, that love passes on. We treat others with respect and integrity and consideration and kindness. When we're not aware of ourselves, we blame everybody for everything. The world is shitty. We walk around with our heads low. We're angry or we're jealous or we're talking shit about other people. We can't focus on anything else but what's going on the outside. That's the chaos. Or we try to feed ourselves false self-love by, if I just get the money and the cars and the women and the jewelry, or if I just look pretty and have a nice body and this and that, I'll land a man or I'll get married and this is going to make everything better. If I just get famous, if I just do this, you're chasing you're chasing something that's false. That's going to keep you in a constant loop and cycle. And then you start banking on, you're putting your self-worth and value in the fact that you're married. That's all that's worth to you. So when you feel like shit, you flex that. Oh, my husband, me and my husband and my boyfriend. Oh, yeah, my new car. I got my new whip. But like, that's all you talk about, or my jewelry and my money, or my my career is doing so well. You start like coming from that angle. That's false confidence. That's not real. It's not real. Because, baby, like, listen, your car can be taken from you, crash it one day, you might be able to afford another one, whatever. The husband, he gonna pass away one day. God forbid he cheats on you, leaves you, or that woman leaves you and cheats on you, or that job fires you. Then what do you have? You're gonna feel like shit, because that's where you place all your value. You gonna feel like shit. If you don't know like yourself outside of that, like who you are and what you are, you gonna feel like shit. Just period. Period. And also too, like when you love yourself, you are not gonna tolerate bullshit. You are not gonna accept things if somebody's like trying to pay you less than what you deserve. You're not gonna be desperate and take that job. A part of you is like, I know what's for me and it's gonna come to me. I'm going to find it. I'm gonna make myself available for that job or that career is for me. You're not gonna settle. Or if a man sits down at your table or a woman sits down at your table and you know deep down inside that y'all are not an equal vibrational match, but because you're lonely or you want somebody, you feel like your clock is ticking, like, oh, I'll settle, I'll figure it out. Oh, I'll try to make it work, or I'll try to, because I don't want to be by myself. No, you won't even tolerate that shit. You'll be like, you know what? This isn't going to work out. This person's not for me, or this person is, treating me a certain way. Like, I don't deserve that. I want to make myself available for the person that is for me. If this person gets it together, cool. See, the thing about like love too, like when you're dealing with somebody that is, let's say they're not self-aware, and they could be your person, right? It could be destined for you to be with this person, but at the time of you guys meeting or coming together, they're not self-aware. Your job is not to show up more and to do more and to prove to them why you're worthy or why they're special and why they need to love themselves. That person will, if they truly are about you, and I don't want to give away too much because this is part of the download that I got, but like if they're truly about you or for you, they're going to naturally be inspired to change. Not for you solely for you, but for themselves. Like it's going to inspire them to be like, you know what? Like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life? Or why am I still like, why am I this way? What are these patterns? Like, what is this? It's going to inspire. It's going to, you don't have to do nothing but be your divine. Like when you're a divine feminine, you don't got it. I'm telling you, your energy speaks for itself. You will affect people's lives just by being in their lives. You don't have to do nothing in particular, like by the textbook and through merits and calculated actions and force. Your energy is going to speak for itself, and it's going to, it has a cause and effect on those lives as it's supposed to. It is going to make people uncomfortable. And uncomfortability is not a sign of a bad thing necessarily. Uncomfortability sometimes means I'm growing outside of my comfort zone. I'm being called to elevate past my certain perceptions and ideas and beliefs, and or I'm becoming aware of a certain part of myself. This person's making me feel something. This person's awakening something inside of me. If a person is not open to active change and or being active in their change, you wasting your time. That's how you know you wasting your time. That person is not for you. Love is not a cycle and a loop of trauma and pain. That's not your person. When you love yourself, meaning like truthfully not be like, oh, I'm a bad bitch, I deserve I deserve this and I deserve a man to do this for me, and outside of all that little egotistical shit, deep down, you deserve kindness. You deserve loyalty. You deserve respect. You deserve someone that sees you for you, someone that has the capacity to support you in who you are and speak to that core part of yourself and bring the best out of you, not tear you down, not cause you to be in conflict with your own self and war with your own mind or feel complacent and feel stuck and uninspired in life. That's not what you deserve. So when you like know yourself and you know your self value and your worth, you're not going to put up with bullshit. A man with money, for the ladies that fall into this trap of this femininity, these like femininity gurus all online and social media and paying these coaches to how to be feminine, all this corny shit. A rich man is not going to make you happy either. If that's all you put value in is money and status, you'll be content for a time. But for those of you that are solely driven, like you're soul driven, like you have soul, you have depth to you, that's not going to make everything for you. That's cool because naturally men are providers, whether that's financially and they should provide on deeper levels as well. If they're just providing for you on a financial level, that's not enough to aspire to. You are worth more than that. Like that's number one. Like that's like I said, material cultivating material things is not that hard for the average human because we survive every day. We're always constantly figuring it out. So that ain't shit. Like I said, to be able to actually cultivate something deeper, like the soul, to tap into your own soul essence and to be considerate of other people's spirit and energies and essences, that's a little more work. Because you live in your meat suit 24/7. To tap into your spirit self, you have to be present to feel that and conscious of that and seek for that. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, the energy just feels different. And, like, take your time to rest. Like, don't eat too much heavy foods and stuff. Like, I know, like, if you feel kind of like that density in your body, I would do the opposite of like eating something that's dense and heavy, something that's more lightweight. Um, I've been called to like green smoothie cleanse, so like I don't know, maybe that will be beneficial for some. Rest as much as you can, and if you can, like ground in the sun, in the earth, the dirt, the grass. I always say touch grass. I be saying that to be like an asshole and a troll sometimes, but no, literally, like go touch grass, like bare feet and all. Like just sit under it and like kind of allow the sun to charge you if you can. Like just take some time out to do that. Yeah, because you want to ground your energy as well. Because like if you're in this space of like I don't know, I'm just seeing like kind of like a vision in my mind's eye of someone just floating in the ethers, just floating, and it almost like sounds like water. Just being in the pool, like when you float in the pool and you're just there. That's what it feels like to me. So like you're in a space where it feels like autopilot kind of. So like mundane activities right now may seem kind of like heavy and kind of like an overload right now. So just ground yourself. Don't overeat, don't overextend. Um, be careful what you're watching, what you're like listening to, what you're consuming at this time. Because I feel like your energy's like if you've done the work anyway, like you did the clearing, your energy, like there's nothing tied to you because the vision that I'm seeing, like the person's body I'm seeing in my mind's eye, there's nothing attached to them. There's no cords attached to them. Meaning there's no like outside energies connecting and pulling on their energy. So some of you guys may have done some cord cutting. Um, yeah, just be very careful of what you moving forward, what you consume and what you say yes to, what you agree to, any physical agreements and opportunities and offers, make sure that you weigh them accordingly. Don't rush, pray on it, meditate on it. You don't have to immediately make any decisions. People that come into your life, vet them out, spiritually vet them out, ask God to show you their true heart and intentions with you before you just like take on new things. Like it's very important, like you're at a clean slate. When I say I don't see anything attached to anybody, I don't know, it's not going to be for everyone that watches this, but if you really did your soul, like you did that work during the eclipse season and you just cut cords, you cut ties, or you set the intention to release yourself of any ties, any agreements, contracts, anything that does not serve you, I see just complete, like you're just, it's just you. I don't see any attachments. I don't see anything pulling on you that's not supposed to be there. You're there. You're at a good space. So just rest in that. So you don't want to hop back and jump into things and attach yourself to people, places, and things that are just not for you, essentially. Whether that's a new coming energy or past energies. Be very intentional with your life moving forward. Very intentional about what you put into your body. Like it's okay. Like, I love me some sweets now, okay? Like I love me, a good pizza. I love me, a good, all that shit. And some of y'all might be vegan, but In moderation, have balance. Majority of your intake should be things that are good for the body. That goes for what you consume online, what you consume on TV, if you watch TV, what you're listening to, the music. Like, it's okay to listen to the trap and, listen to the Bad Bunnies and stuff like that, for fun, but you don't want to overconsume your energy with too much of that stuff, the Cardi B's and that stuff is for entertainment, like to turn up and all that, but you don't want to consume that in your being all the time. Okay. Says the person that binge watches Tubi movies, those ratchet ghetto Detroit Tubi movies. Um, Even in balance with that, like sometimes I gotta be like, some of the stuff like that I be watching, I need to take a step back. Social media, just it's a portal of energy. So it's like billions upon millions of people are on social media. So even with that, you have to moderate that and maybe even cleanse your energy after you get off of social media, because you're tapping into a lot of different people's frequencies. Even if you're following like good, gurus or fashion pages or health pages, fitness pages, like those are still human beings with a human experience and their own shit. So like tapping into people's energies and worlds, like you do have to cleanse yourself. You do. So try to remember that. Cleanse your energy every morning. Set intentions in your shower or your bath every morning. If you're a spiritual worker like me, where you do come in contact with a lot of different people and spirits and, circumstances in life, cleanse yourself after every session that you have. Close that person's energy out lovingly. Send them love, send them light, send them peace, whatever they need, and shut that energy, close that space down, and cleanse yourself. Okay, so you're not carrying the weight of that because you tapped into it. Anytime like someone gives you access to their energy or gives you permission to read them or to see into what they need to, or you're tapping into the collective consciousness, you have to cleanse your energy after, immediately. Send everybody love and peace. Detach, shut that energy down, cleanse your space, cleanse your cards, whatever you got to do. Pray, whatever, however you go about closing and shutting down, but you must do that. Definitely at like in these times right now, as a spiritual worker, when you're tapping in, you have to cleanse your energy after. It's so much shit going on in the collective and beyond the collective that it's too much for the human body to consume. So sometimes the energy that you feel is not always yours. Sometimes it's energy that you've taken on through tapping into it as an empath. You've opened yourself up to that person's energy. So you have to shut it down. Okay. And even not just for the spiritual workers, but if you like are talking to people on the phone or texting and the conversations or might be a little bit heavy, send that person love when you get off the phone. You don't got to say it to, oh, I send you love. They might be like, crazy Delulu. They might be like, girl, whatever. Or what, but just send them love and peace. Shut the energy down, cleanse it, detach yourself from it. Because sometimes it's literally not you all the time. Like it could be someone else's energy. Okay, but I say all of that in conclusion, you know, I hope that this message was helpful to someone or just us, talking. I appreciate you guys for joining the live. Show some love. If it genuinely resonates or you feel like someone might need to hear it, don't be shy to share it. I know, like, sometimes it's shy. People be shy to comment and stuff. I promise y'all, I am not a mean person. I know some people like, this bitch is just so stoic sometimes. Like, no, I'm really not, I'm really goofy, but every now and then, like I do gotta get in my emperor and empress hierophant high priestess vibe. Like I have to get in that bag sometimes. It's just a part of the calling, I guess. Um but no, it's all love over here. Like I say all these things with love because if nobody else tells you, like, you love yourself so that you can show up in the best of your ability and capacity. Like to be of service to others is to be Gucci with you. That's really what it's about. It's fake love when you like you give and give and give to everybody else but yourself. It's like you're doing that because you're trying to run from you. It's not fully coming from a pure place because you're using someone else as a scapegoat and a distraction from yourself. So you can't really say that, oh, I am selfless because I give everybody else love, and but to deny yourself too, that's not healthy. You're not in this physical body, in this physical space, just to be a servant to everybody else in this world, and then you're just like this nothing person. Like, that's not real. Just as it's not healthy to think that the world revolves around you and other people don't exist in this world, in this realm. Like, that would be delusional too. So you have to have balance. Everything is about balance. For real, it really is about balance. And ironically, I use Shiva and Shakti. I didn't know why. I just chose them. I created that thumbnail, by the way, but I just put that as the thing. I don't know why I did it, but I did. Now I understand. It's all about balance. Wow. And this man that I follow, he's talking about CERN, how they're using portals. I'm about to watch this. Let me get off of here with y'all. Let me go watch this. I'm gonna go watch this video. I appreciate you guys so much, though. I send love to each and every one of you. Peace. And may the energies be good to you. Get you some sunlight, okay? For real. Like, some of you guys, it's already late where you are, but if you're able to get some sun or you can't go outside, just open the window and sit by it and just get you some and some sunlight. Okay. All right. Much love as always. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Take care. And until the next one, peace.